America's Pulse Network welcomes you to the Pulse Podcast. Today we've got a packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you well informed. So, please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the APN's The Pulse Podcast talks about, then please share the Pulse with others. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. Tonight's APN's The Pulse Podcast starts now.
There's like a little lag between it starting and me coming on the screen. So I'm always afraid I'm going to be doing something weird when the camera kicks on. And I'll be like, so it's like I sit on my hands, so I'm not doing anything. Well, good evening, everybody. It is 8:01 p.m. on Wednesday. If you were looking for the Pulse, you found it. This is where you're at. I'm Seth Eisenberg. I'm hosting this evening. I know it's very rarely see me at the con, but here I am. It's going to be kind of a smaller group tonight. Alexandra has some previous engagements. Elaine, unfortunately, is dealing with hospice, and I don't want to get too much into that. That's personal. So we're hoping and sending and praying for her and her family that they can get through this. So you're with me, and you're with the Hammer, and we'll bring him on here in a second. So it's just two of us, which is always good. That way I can monopolize the conversation, and he'll just have to sit there and listen to me. When there's more than one other person, I can't do that. So it works in my favor. But yeah, we're going to do that. I hope everybody is having a good week since today is Wiener Wednesday. I'm not calling it Hump Day because that just sounds weird. I think Wiener Wednesday sounds better. And I don't mean wiener. I mean like hot dogs. So don't get your underwear in a knot. I'm talking about hot dogs. So I'm assuming everybody's eating all the hot dogs they can handle tonight. Now they want to watch the Pulse, which is good. Good way to help settle your stomach or upset it. I guess it depends. We'll figure that out later. So what we're going to do is we're going to do breaking news real quick, and then I'll bring on Damon, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter. A lot's been going on in the news last couple of weeks. Even, since last Wednesday, things have gotten kind of crazy. And we're not going to talk about all that because we could just do an entire hour and a half on just breaking news, but we're not going to do that because that would be boring. So the first thing I wanted to kind of brush up on and talk about, is the shooting that was at the mosque in San Diego. Of course, when there's loss of life, it's horrible. I am just glad that no children were killed there. Other than that, I don't know what to say. We're talking, and this is again my opinion, and we're talking in generalities. There are more bodies attached to that religion than any other religion in the world. Again, I'm happy no children were killed. It's sad that people were killed. But what's it say in the Bible? If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You can't promote death and destruction everywhere in the world and then be upset when death and destruction visits you. Again, I'm glad no children were killed. I'm sorry for the people that were killed. They caught them both. I think they were teenagers, 16, 17, Latinos, I believe. And there were some rumors circulating that they were trans, which is BS. They weren't trans, but people were releasing that because they want to be the first person with breaking news. And from what I've read, there's no truth or fact for that accusation. They were youth that have been misled. They had SS emblems on some gas canisters they had in their vehicles. They had other horrible racist things written on the weapons, I believe, or the ammunition, something. Neo-Nazi stuff. And of course, it's really not in the news anymore because it wasn't white males who were Christian. So it's not really going to stay in the news that long. And we all know that. If it were white guys that did this, Trumpers, it'd be in the news every day, all day, and they'd be blasting it. But since it doesn't fit the narrative, it's going to slowly just dip away, which is sad. Again, there was loss of life, and the world needs to know about it. I don't believe, unless someone has done something directly to you, you should go kill them. And I don't think these children or anybody, the men that were killed, I think security guard and somebody else, and then the two cowards took their own life, which is always good because I don't have to pay for them being in prison the rest of their lives. They played lollipop with their guns. save the taxpayers a few grand a year. And that's that. But yeah, no children were killed, which is awesome. Unfortunately, 2 people were killed, which is horrible. But I've already said my piece on that. I'm not going to beat it like a dead horse. What's it? Luigi Mangione or Mangina, whatever his name is, the hero of the left who murdered a man in cold blood on the streets of New York. Some of his evidence they collected out of his backpack has been deemed inadmissible. The magazine, a cell phone, a passport, a wallet, and a computer chip apparently will be deemed illegally gained through an illegal search. You have that. I don't understand why the left has propped him up as a hero. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't care who you murdered. This man he murdered had a family, did nothing to him directly, and he shot him in the back as he was walking away on the street. People are saying, well, he was an insurance CEO, he deserves to die. Nobody deserves to die in the street for a job. Do I think insurance companies are horrible? Yes, I do. I think they need to be revamped. I think they need to be tweaked where they're more user-friendly than they are bank account friendly. But that wouldn't give me the right to go kill people over it. That it doesn't. And I don't even think Mangione, whatever his name is, had an insurance policy with United Healthcare. I think that's who the guy was with, United Care. Never even had a policy with them. So this man had nothing at all to do with anything that happened to Mangina, and he shot him. Cold blood. They found him in Pennsylvania, I think 5 days later, sucking down a McDouble at a Pennsylvania McDonald's. And then they identified him and arrested him. And apparently, for whatever reason, when they searched his backpack, some of the stuff was deemed illegal and they can't use it in the trial. I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand that. I always thought if you're arrested, they can do an inventory search or an inventory of the personal property on you. And I thought that would fall under that inventory. But again, I'm not a lawyer, but I do watch a lot of Law and Order. So there's that for me. The law is just crazy. But that's really all the breaking. I mean, there's much more, but that's, all I want to go into. So now let's get Damon on here, get him involved, because I think, I can see he's falling asleep. I don't blame him. I talk too much. Such a delay. I don't know what's going on. There we go.
Oh, hey, I thought you would never shut up.
I know. I can feel eyes on me like, dude, shut up. So how are you, sir?
It could be better. Today was a big toll. I just want to give tribute to my uncle. He's a great man. Passed away. Today was his funeral. We just got home from the bereavement dinner and stuff like that. I just want to say I've never seen, a funeral procession that long. I mean, he was a boxer, he was a carpenter.
Wow.
And his whole boxing club came and they rang the bell for him 10 times, and they presented to his wife and his kids. But I've never seen that many people.
Was he a pro boxer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, and for a short period of time, and then he got in the carpenters union. He was a carpenter for the rest of his life and retired, and sadly passed away a week and a half ago.
I'm guessing carpentry is much easier than getting punched in the face and all that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, I'm sorry he passed away. That's, like I said earlier when we were talking before, it's always shitty. It's never pleasant. But I hope his family can pick up and move on after they grieve. Because they got to grieve. Everybody's got to grieve. You just can't go, okay, I'm better now, and then go about your life. You got to take some time and process all that.
Yeah. So, it's been a rough day, but it happened a week and a half ago. I already grieved over it. I grieved a lot today. So, but I just wanted to come on the Pulse today with you because the show must go on and life has to go on as well. And he watched every one of our podcasts.
Oh, cool.
He didn't know how to comment though. He said, "How do I comment?" He kept asking me all the time. but he will always like them on Facebook and X and all that. But he didn't know how to comment. But he watched every single one of them.
See, that's the opposite with me. My father, even though he's a retired cop, is pretty much liberal, and he always goes, "Hey, when's your podcast on?" So I tell him the wrong days. So he goes, "Well, I couldn't find it." I'm like, "Oh man, you missed it. I probably gave the wrong time." Because if he commented, we'd start arguing. The whole show would be me going back and forth with him. God bless him. He's entitled to his opinion, even though it's wrong. But Yeah, that's why I don't tell him, because that would take the whole show. And that loud sound you just heard was my hand slamming into my desk. So if I start crying here in a second, it's because it really hurt. Oh, damn it.
So I know you're moderating until you prep the show. What do we got going? I heard your breaking news about.
Well, what do you think about that Mangione thing? I mean, why is he a hero? I don't get that at all.
Because people are stupid.
Well,
put it that way. That's what it is. I mean, when you look at it too, like a lot of women look at them, and look at the like Ted Bundy and all those people, and all whatever is it, Manson. Women would mail them letters and want to get married to them and stuff like that. It's weirdness, and it's not like it's something new. But this guy happens to just look good, you know.
Looks like he's got two caterpillars on his eyes fighting each other.
Yeah, they think he looks good, whatever. But everyone's so backwards now. They think, if you look at the numbers, the polling numbers, there's a certain percentage of the left that believe that political violence is good. I think it's like 25%.
I'm surprised it's that low, actually. I thought it'd be more. I mean, what's funny is they're all for it until the rabbit gets the gun. Then they're going to be against it.
Yeah.
When we start pushing back just like they're pushing us, it's going to be a different story. Oh, you can't do that. That's wrong. No, dude, it's not wrong. You've been doing it. We're just tired of getting beat up.
I mean, it's simple. The dude was a nut. He wasn't even part of that insurance company at all. And he planned this out. And now everyone's lifting him up like he's famous and he's loving it. And like he got like top-notch lawyers are having stuff thrown out, which is insane.
Yeah.
It really is. This is going to be like an OJ, I think.
Yeah, I could see it going that route, more of a popularity contest than a legal process.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think about the victim. I don't care if this were a conservative shooting a leftist. It wouldn't change my stance. Murder is murder. It's wrong. I don't care. Unless the man directly attacks you or your family and you're defending yourself, it's wrong. I feel sorry for his family, because now they got to listen to all this crap from all these people, hold this kid up on a pedestal, listen to the courts throwing this out and doing this and all the nasty negative stuff about her husband and their father. I think that's more upsetting to me, which is kind of weird, than the actual crime, because the crime's done. It's over with. That guy's, he doesn't hear anything. He doesn't feel anything. It's done. His family now has to deal with the aftermath for as long as that goes. So it's an ongoing pain. They don't have the time like you do to have to grieve, because it's not ending. It's still going on. So that once they get something processed, something new will pop up, and now they got to process that. So I feel more sorry for the family at this point, because like I just said, this is never ending. It will never end. This will be on somewhere in the news forever now.
Yeah, because they have to see it on the news all the time.
Yep.
Over and over and over again. And then they see the insanity of people that are behind this guy, that shot him. I don't care. I don't know anything about, the CEO. I don't know anything about him. I just know he wasn't a criminal. He was a CEO, entrepreneur, and then he was rich because he got to where he was. Now, I don't know of any crimes he ever committed, but I don't even care if I would care if he committed crimes, but I'm saying it doesn't mean he gets shot to death on the street, on camera, and then the family has to deal with it, and then everyone's behind this murderer. And
that's what I don't get.
And they're praising him.
I don't understand that. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I think it was Malcolm X, and I could be wrong when I quote people, so maybe it's not, but I'm going to say that I think it's Malcolm X. I think at one point he said the liberal media will have you believing people who are wrong are right, people who are right are wrong if you let them. And if no matter who said that, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, it's the truth. That is the God honest truth. And it's sad. I could talk about Mangina for the next hour and a half, but he's not worth the time that we would use to talk about him. So everybody who's watching and on like Rumble, YouTube, wherever, feel free to jump in and ask a question or make a comment or tell me how incredibly devilishly handsome I am. Whatever you'd like to say, it's right there. Remember, Damon is running for Congress where he's at. So if you want to give him words of encouragement, by all means, put those up there. More importantly, if you'd like to send him money, now's the time to find out where you got to send it, because running a campaign ain't cheap. When I ran for the Board of Education, which is lowest on the totem pole, it was expensive. So I can only imagine how expensive it is to run for Congress. So again, money's always helpful. Time is just as valuable if you can do that. Post in the chat, hey, how do I get in touch with you? And we'll get into that more towards the end, but feel free to post something up there about Damon, the hammer.
Oh,
all right. So what we're going to do, and I think I set the hammer. He's going to pick that up one day. He's going to swing.
break my laptop.
And he's going to go off camera. We're going to have to go, oh, we'll be right back.
You named me the hammer. That's why I made this thing.
So I think I set this all up right. We're going to find out here in a moment. I would not hold my breath for me doing this correctly. So we're going to get right into the first segment. And if I sound froggy, I've got some issues going on. So if I constantly clear my throat, please forgive me. The title of this segment is not just, ships float in water. What we have here is what we're going to kind of talk about, the ongoing and increasing issues in anti-Semitism around the world. And I hate to keep bringing this up. I hate to keep talking about it because I wish it was something that would just go away or at least die down, but it's not. It's getting worse. Last week we had 3 people stabbed in the throat in London as they tried to get into a synagogue to worship. People are assaulted all the time in America now going to synagogues. There's huge pro-Palestinian protests, as they call it. I call them riots because if the police have to show up, it's not a protest anymore. Now it's turned to a riot. And they're assaulting Jewish children going into synagogues. You have Muslims now purposely praying in front of Jewish schools for children, purposely during the middle of the day. And it's not getting any better. Where did my favorite person go? There she is. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when we look at this kind of stuff. This is acceptable now. Anna Kasparian, I don't know, and I'm not being funny. I don't know if she's a porn star or what. I've never heard of her. So I'm assuming that she's in like some low-class occupation and people are listening to her. You are hated internationally, not because you're Jewish. It's because you slaughter innocent people. You think you're God's chosen people when you act like absolute demons. And she's refused to apologize. What do you think, Damon? I don't get it.
I was just looking her up. She's an American commentator. I don't know who else she is either. So but yeah, I mean, because you're hated. No, it's because it's trending right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I look at it in the way. I blame X. And social and Facebook and social media, all social media, for this because it's a trending thing, and that's where people look at it. I mean, you look at all the bots that are on X now. Mm-hmm. There's tons of them, and you have people like Hamas, is on X and social media and Facebook and all of them. And they create these bots and they keep putting it out there. You'll watch an account. I said this before a couple months ago. You'll watch an account go from 0 followers to like 200,000 in like 2 weeks because they just keep pumping this stuff out. I mean, I've been on X forever. I'm all on 200,000 followers. I'm not even close. I'm running for Congress. But you see this happen. It's propaganda, is what it is. Now listen, I even argue with my friends a lot. They're believing some of it. And listen, I say there's every person. Like, okay, you look at the Muslim community. Okay, yeah, they have some bad things. I'm not talking about the radical Muslims. Right. They just need to die, go away. The radicals, but the Muslim community, they're not bad people, but there's always something there. It depends who wants to control the narrative. How you look at the Somalians, the Somalians that are Muslim, I believe, and they're, Minnesota, but the fraud. There's always something there with every single community. You look at the Irish, the Italians, the mob. I mean, there's always something there. It's just they're the flavor of the month. Not the month, the year.
Just in case somebody from the family is listening, I don't believe there's a mafia. I think it's all a government conspiracy. So just want that out there in public.
Well, no, seriously. And it pains me when people say this and they want to blame the Jewish community and blamed Israel for everything. Oh, they controlled Trump. They controlled the world. Really? I mean, come on. I'm so tired of hearing it. I really am. I understand that they contribute to all different congressmen and congressmen, senators, whatever it may be. APAC. Everyone talks about APAC. It's so bad. Well, I don't take any money from APAC because they're not giving it to me. But everybody know. But it's just not. Look at the pharmaceutical companies giving money out.
Look at guitar.
Way more money. Yeah, guitar. I mean, they are just somebody got ahead of it and made them, the flavor right now, and everyone's blaming it. It's the Jews, the Jews, the Jews. Now, listen, I could say something about the Jews in Lakewood in New Jersey, number one, because I mean they are kind of raping our system here, and they just got put out the Hasidic Jews that they just got exposed. And they even admitted it, but that's a little community there, But it's everybody. It's like all kinds of people. You go to Ohio, LA, all this fraud that's going on, everything's going on. So it's not just one. It's people in general. That's what it is. It's just people.
I mean, the funny thing is, people also seem to forget how many arrests there have been for cocaine trafficking in the Amish community.
What
they've been? Oh yeah, there's
really?
There's been a few in Pennsylvania that have been arrested for trafficking cocaine.
What, by horse and buggy?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man, I wish you told me.
I know. I think I need to move to Pennsylvania, become Amish. It's like they party pretty hard up there, churning some butter, doing some bumps. Who knows what else they're doing up there? But yeah, there's been a few of them arrested for trafficking cocaine and other illicit material.
I actually kind of find that funny.
Honestly. It was. You got Johan, the rake fighter, pimping out a line on the corner with his buddy. That just writes itself. But you're right. It's not Jews. It's criminals. And there are criminals and bad people in every race, every religion. You can't point to one and go, they're the worst. Well, you can't point to one and say they have the market cornered on criminals. It's always them. It's always them. You can't. And it's aggravating. I mean, people say, well, if you support Israel, you can't support America. Let me tell you something, idiot. I love my friends. I support them, but my family comes first. I can do both. I can support something and still put something above it that's more important. It's not impossible unless you're like mentally stunted. Then I guess, you can only focus on one thing other than wiping your chin with all the drool. You can only focus on one thing. I can focus on both. You can focus on, but like for running for Congress, that's important to you. You support that, but your family is more important. You would leave that in a second to support your family.
Yeah.
I support Israel, but if it came down to Israel and America, of course I'm going to take America. That's stupid to even think I wouldn't, but I can support both. It doesn't fracture my allegiance. It doesn't do it other than say, hey, I fully support Israel's right to exist. I support them in defending themselves any way they see fit. And that's it. There's no allegiance change. I'm not saying, well, I would fight for Israel over America. No, I just support their right to exist like they support our right to exist. It's that simple. There's nothing nefarious about it.
Exactly. And I had this kid, I won't say where from college. He reached out to me through my website, and he was writing a paper on me. And he asked me about this issue. And he said I explained to him. I said, yes, I completely support Israel for them to defend themselves. That's it. He said, well, and he asked me, well, what about America first? But he said he was a single issue voter. I'm like, well, I can't be a single issue congressman, number one. I said, but no, I said, look at it. You're looking at America first. America first. The world has gotten so much smaller now. Before way back in the day, you had to travel by horse. Funny you mentioned Amish horse and buggy, but I mean, it took forever to get the message out there. But the world is like this. Everything happens so quick. I mean, you had missiles and rockets that can come over and travel so far. I mean, it's become a very complex world, but it's so much smaller. So America first is having allies, is being allies with someone like Israel. And they say, oh, well, we give Israel $3 billion a year Okay, how much do we give to Ukraine? All right, how much do we give to other countries? I mean, it's like really look at the difference. But they are an ally. How much do they help us out with all the strategic bombing? Iran taking that out. I mean, they did their due diligence on that, and that they. I mean, what about the? I don't know, man. It's just
I got you.
It's just you have to look at it as like, no, we have to be partners with other people, with other countries, and gotta be partners with good ones. I don't want to be partners with Hamas. I don't know if anybody's listening. If you want to be partners with Hamas, because I don't think they're going to work with us.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, and what do they have? They have donkeys and machine guns, and and they just have blown themselves up to kill other people. And that's the thing. It's that simple to me.
I don't know if you've listened to him, and probably promoting another podcast on this podcast is probably counterintuitive. But Nicholas, and I believe that's the name, Nicholas the Zionist, not a Jew. I think he's a Catholic, and he has incredible arguments for why we're allies with Israel. Why do we help Israel? Why do we do this? The guy was in the Navy, so he's smart. But he makes perfect arguments, and it's if you're ever questioning, well, why should we do this? Listen to that man. He is, like I said, very intelligent, makes articulate arguments, and they're all fact-based. There's because like you said, he's not Jewish. He's got no skin in that game. But this is why we should do with help Israel, and it makes perfect sense. I like listening to him. Like again, a smart guy. Like I said, it's funny when people go, "You're a Jew." He's like, "No, I'm not." Nope, no, I'm not. And that always throws him off. Like, well, what? It's like, yeah, dude, just now you're done. Just sit back and let him talk to you. Maybe you'll learn something. But yeah, Nicholas, I think it's Nicholas the Zionist. Great guy, very smart man.
If he's Catholic, it means he actually worships the Jew.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Christian, you worship a Jew.
He was Jesus was Jewish,
but he wasn't that kind of Jew. Whatever the hell that means. I know.
I know. He was a carpenter as well too.
That's right, he was.
That's one thing my cousin brought up today at the funeral. About my uncle. He said Jesus was a carpenter as well, and he was too. So.
And I don't know if how you couldn't know about this now in the news is I don't know how you wouldn't, but the flotilla, the flotilla of aid, was intercepted again by the Israeli Navy. I got some notes here. Israel's Navy intercepted it. Activist flotilla in international waters. That's key. International waters. That's key for what I'm going to explain. On Monday, halting the latest attempt to challenge the naval blockade of Gaza, drawing attention to the grim living conditions the Palestinians in war-battered coast territory are forced to live in. Tantamount to torture. My answer to that is, do you know what torture is? Look at the videos of the hostages in the tunnels that Hamas was holding. That's torture. What's going on here is a simple arrest and detainment, but you can't tell these people that. More than 50 vessels departed from the port of Mirmas, Turkey last week, and what the organizers are calling a global flotilla. 50 vessels ain't global. Activists live stream showing them putting on life jackets and raising their hands as boats carrying Israeli troops, sailors, approached. When the troops aborted the ships, the live streams abruptly ended. Other footage shows Israeli forces on speedboats approaching fast. I was in the Navy. It was never on a boarding party, so I can't say anything firsthand, but I can tell you this. If they're coming to board your ship, they're not coming because they want to give you lollipops and hugs. They're not coming because they want to have tea with you. They're coming because you've done something and they're going to stop you. So yes, they're going to be armed. Yes, they're going to come at you extremely fast because they have to be quick. They don't know what you're going to do. They don't know how you're going to react. So they have to take control of that situation immediately and quash any ideas of fighting back. But you can't tell people that. Now, why I said it was international waters when they intercepted this flotilla, there's something called the San Remo Manual. Under international law and the law of naval warfare, a nation has the right to establish a naval blockade in international armed conflict in international waters during an armed conflict to prevent weapons from reaching the enemy. In 2011, the U.S. commissioned the Palmer Report, and it stated Israel's maritime blockade was imposed as a legitimate security measure to stop the smuggling of weapons, and its implementation of intercepting flotillas is completely within maritime law. So they have broken no law. The thing is, is if you listen to these people, they will tell you they're breaking law. The Israelis are doing this. The Israelis are doing that. What do you think about that, Damon?
Oh, first, I want to ask you: was Greta Thunberg involved in this one? Like
Was America involved?
No, Greta Thunberg.
No, she backed out. She has nothing. She's of course protested wherever she lives in the iceberg that she lives on, and she's been arrested. Arrested protesting.
Yeah, well, it's like they're going through international wars, and where would again headed for Gaza? Okay, that's fine for me if you want to send them something. The people of Gaza, you want to send the Palestinians something, but what these people don't understand, I'm sure, I mean, looking at them right there, go ahead over there and not wear a hijab, when you pull up to the shore. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, seriously, I don't understand it. Like the gays for Palestine. I mean,
chickens for KFC.
Chickens for KFC. You don't wear hijab over there. They're going to they will rape you. I mean, seriously.
Oh yeah.
I mean, absolutely. And I'm sorry to say it. I mean, I'm not saying all Palestinians. I'm sure there's Palestinian people are great, and people in Iran too. The Iranians are great. Look at all the people who went out and protested and risked their lives, and they got killed. Over 40,000 people got mowed down. They're good people that wanted to change their country, to a normal country, to where they're not held under the thumb of the Ayatollah and all that. But you have to realize who's controlling it. They're not good people, at all. They will kill you. So if they stop them from going to the flotillas, like, how about a thank you? Because I mean, seriously, I made the joke, months and months ago when Greta Thunberg went and said she was I was captured by the Israeli government and I'm held hostage while she's eating her sandwich, and they put her on her cell phone. On her own cell phone. It's like, seriously, you should be thanking them, because you would have went over there and then you would have never came back.
No,
never saw you again.
But see, you can't tell liberals that they don't want to deal in reality. They don't believe the videos you can find all throughout the internet of gay people being thrown off roofs, people getting their heads cut off. They don't believe that. That's AI. That's all fake.
Well, that's why I'm at the point where I said before, let them through.
Yeah, I agree. Let them go.
Let them go. Like, hey, you want to go over there? Go over there. Make it better. Make it a better world. Make it a better world, and come back to us. Say, look at what we did. All this great stuff over here. We made it a better country, and now they're good people. We got Hamas loves us now, and they're good people. We like we were missionaries. We went over there. Go ahead if you want to do that. Go ahead. I say let them go.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I would just be to cover my butt. I'd go, but you need to sign this waiver.
No, yeah.
Because we're not coming to get you. When you realize that you're wrong, and you realize, my God, they're going to kill me, you can't call us. Because remember, we're just Zionist pigs. We're stupid Jews. So you're going on your own, and you're going to acknowledge that, because your parents aren't going to sue us. We're not going to be sued by anybody because we didn't come bail your dumb ass out. So sign this, and once you sign it, we're going to let you go through. I guarantee you, I'm not signing anything, because they know if they do, then shit, I'm on my own. And they're right. They're going to kill me.
Well, they just put it on camera and say, these flotillas want to go through. Everyone's all over us for stopping them. Here it is. We're going to allow them to do so because, this is what they want. We don't want to be seen as we're stopping anybody from their mission in life. So, so just have at it and just get a long lens camera, to where when they pull up on shore, and then, see what happens. I mean, we have satellites. We can look down, and just see what happens.
We can watch the public execute.
Everyone will say, "Oh, it was AI. They annihilated them all." All right. Well, why aren't they back yet then?
Yeah.
Why aren't they on TV and saying, "No, look at us. We're living it up over here."
They love us.
But Hamas give me a Mai Tai. We're sitting out here in the desert.
That's Chris Holland. Chris, what's his name? Holland from Maryland. He's the one that gives drinks to terrorists, not Hamas. And I think this is a video of them actually being prepared to be boarded. the flotilla of peace. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a video; it's a picture. That's what they saw. It looks like a fast attack boat, a ribbed rubber boat, I guess you could say, with sailors or soldiers on it coming to board a ship. You're breaking international law. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. And another question I have is most of the 50, the massive worldwide flotilla, the ships are 40, 50 footers. How much aid can you really put on a boat that small with 4 or 5 people on board? How much, a couple of boxes of Twinkies? This has nothing to do with helping anybody. This has nothing to do with aid. This is trying to put Israel in a bad light because you're too stupid to understand you're being used. And more importantly, the Vatican has offered several times to take the food they have or the aid they have and distribute it for them so they don't have to do this. They've turned down the Vatican every time.
It's a PR propaganda.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. So.
There's no concern for Gaza in there. It's all about, we can go viral. We can be important. Now, everybody's showing all these videos and pictures of these poor people on the ship. Like, oh, my God, that's horrible. We need to free them, free them in Palestine. But let me show you why there's a war in Israel right now. What I'm going to show you is pretty graphic. If you have children, I would probably tell you to pull them away. But this is why the Israelis are taking a stand and doing what they're doing. This is actual footage from October 7th. This is from the camera of the Hamas soldier. It chased Jews to these porta potties at the musical festival. And you'll see what they're about to do with behind it. There are people in this porta potty. And you can hear in the background, they're chasing down the festival goers and shooting them as they ran, burning some of them alive, raping and killing the women they found. Actually, it's been confirmed that one of the gentlemen doing it, I don't use gentlemen loosely, got one of the victims' phones, called his mother and said, Mom, I just killed 10 Jews. These are the people that we're supposed to feel sorry for. These are the people that we're supposed to go, yeah, they deserve some help. We should help them. Those are the people that Israel's fighting. And people will say, well, and I'm not disputing it, but they'll say, there's everyone in Palestine's not like that. Show me. Show me a group of Palestinians who are protesting what they did to Israel. Show me. Show me the ones that get on the news and say what we did was wrong. I don't agree with it. It was evil. We should not have done that. Show me that clip. Anytime the Muslims do something horrible in the world, they're silent. But I'm supposed to believe that there are people who don't agree with what goes on. Whenever anybody else does something wrong, they're on the news immediately. We apologize. What we did was wrong. That was wrong. It shouldn't have happened. We're going to take care of this. Muslims, hush. Crickets, tumbleweed. So if you're a good Muslim, you should understand why Israel's doing this. You killed 1,200 people, raped and murdered, burned alive, executed, shot children. And you're trying to come across the world as a victim. Oh, the retaliation is too much. My father taught me a long time ago, and I'm sure your uncle probably would say the same thing as a boxer. Don't fight out of your weight class. Don't fight up because you're going to lose. If you don't want the beating, don't start the fight. However Israel responds is how Israel responds. Nobody in the world has any right to tell them, okay, now you need to back off. No. This has been going on for decades. This is not just a one-time thing. And what I just showed you is horrible. Can you imagine? I think it was mostly teenagers and 20-something-year-old people at that festival. I mean, you're dancing, having fun. Then you hear a couple of bang, bang. You think it might be the music. Then you hear more bang, bang, followed by screaming. People are starting to run. You see people coming out of the sky, people coming through the fence, people getting shot in the head. So you run to the porta potty because you're a kid. You don't know any better. You're trying to hide. You're in the porta potty, and you can hear the porta potties next to you getting shot up, and you know yours is next. There's nothing you can do now. You are next. I can't imagine dying that way. And I think anything that happens to Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Boko Haram, any of those radicalized Muslim Islamists, they've earned. And after they're dealt with here, they have hell to look forward to. I don't care what Israel does. If you can look at that and the entire film of October 7th and still say Israel's getting what it deserves, you're a sick animal. What do you think America would do if that happened here? If somebody invaded the Burning Man festival down in Nevada? Wherever that is, and killed them all, and then went back across the border. You think we'd go, oh, damn. Well, they left the country. We can't do anything about it. I guess we're just going to have to deal with it. No, we would bomb that country back to the Stone Age and wouldn't care what anybody else in the world said. But like Damon said earlier, it's because Jews are involved. Now it's a problem. Can't let the Jews fight back. They just got to accept it. What do you think, Dan? After seeing that video, what do you think? What comes to mind?
I've seen all the videos from that day. There were things that I couldn't unsee. I mean, and I'm glad you showed one that, I mean, it wasn't as bad. It was horrible.
I got you.
But there were ones where I couldn't even unsee them. I couldn't believe it. It was horrific. Like I didn't sleep for weeks over it. I kept seeing the images in my mind. Like, how could somebody actually do that to a person, to a baby, to a woman, and cheer them and cheer it on and all that stuff? It was horrific. It was barbaric, and every single one of them are evil that did that. Now, I still have to say though, when I said there are Palestinians that live over there, and they're under the boot of Hamas. I'm sure there are good ones over there, but are they afraid to, do anything? Because they killed them. They'll put a drill to their head in front of their family and drill out their head, because so they don't speak up. They don't say anything. They don't have guns. They can't fight. Well, they need to figure it out, because I mean, we did here in the United States when we had a Revolutionary War. But they have to step up. But if your country, I'm sorry, your country is allowing this to happen, housing these people, putting missile silos underneath hospitals, underneath schools, so when they get bombed and when they have to bomb them, then I'm sorry. There's going to be casualties of war. And you're not going to come in and attack my country. I mean, I'll put it in perspective. Israel's the size of the state of New Jersey. I live in New Jersey. Right? If, say, Pennsylvania came over here, which I was originally from, I'm so sorry. I'm just saying, you're just our neighbor, so you know. But if they came over here and did something like that, whatever I had in my arsenal, I would wipe Pennsylvania out. If they came over and did that, if it was my wife, my daughter, my son, my friend, my coworker, it doesn't really matter. If I seen those videos that day, you won't be able to stop me from doing anything. And then everyone out there that's listening right now, that's anti-Israeli, but even my friends are like, "Oh, Israel goes a little too far sometimes." No, I'm sorry. No, they don't. Because I would go. Just think about it. Put it in perspective. Think about it. I would annihilate anyone that if they did something like that to my family. I mean, it's no question.
Let me clarify this. If Israel had done something to provoke this, like started a war for no reason or did the same thing to them, then I can understand that. Like, okay, you kind of asked for it. You did that. I get it. You deserve this. But Israel had done nothing. Especially these were civilians. They weren't even military. They were civilians at a music festival, minding their own damn business. And I can almost guarantee you there were probably Palestinians in that crowd. I can almost guarantee it because Israel allows them to live in Israel, but they're not allowed to live in Palestine. So I can almost guarantee you there were Palestinians in that crowd that were raped and murdered and burnt.
You know, man, you know how many live in Israel?
Huh?
You know how many live in Israel?
What?
It's upwards of like 200,000.
Yeah, they also have mosques in Israel. They allow them to worship.
You know how many live in Gaza or in Palestine? Jews? 0. So, I mean, that's the thing, man. And I'm probably losing votes over this too, because it's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. But it's what's right. I mean,
yes.
It's you can't not see it. Like, go look at it. Look at I don't want everyone. But actually, you know what? Everyone needs to look at all those videos, and then you will see the evil that was there that day. It was. Seth, I'm telling you, that was one of the worst things I ever watched. I mean, I seen 9/11 when I was younger, and all that stuff, and seen the planes, people jumping out because of the windows because they were burning and stuff like that, and that was horrific. But seeing the videos of them filming them, chopping people's heads off, raping women, cutting babies out of the stomachs, and then dead. I can't even get it out of my mind. A dead woman with her legs bent backwards in the back of the pickup truck, and they took her away. She was dead, and they were all cheering and spitting on her. It's absolute evil. It is. So I'm sorry. I mean, I believe there are definitely good people that live over there, and they're under a thumb of Moss, and they need to get out from under it. But you need to step up and do something. You need to try. I don't have the answer to it. I don't. Because not everyone is evil, but those people there that day that were over there, they were so proud of what they did. That's what
was it. Nietzsche? I can't pronounce his name. Frederick Nietzsche, a philosopher, once said that all evil needs to flourish is for good men to do nothing.
Oh, that was Edmund Burke.
Okay, yeah.
The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
And that's we're seeing that now.
Yeah.
As long as it's happening to the Jews, it's okay. As long as it's happening to Christians, it's okay. Oh, you're doing something to Muslims? No, you got to stop. No. You don't get to do that. You need to stop. I have my own opinion on that, but I've been told by several people that I am, what's the word? Too harsh about some subjects. So I'm not going to go any further than that, but I definitely have my own opinion on what should be done, how it should be done, and when it should be done.
Well, you're unfilteredness. So, I just listen. I always want to see the good in people, and I know there's good out there, but no.
I agree. I'll just put it this way: if I were in charge of Israel, we would not stop until the Gaza Strip became the world's biggest parking lot. I would not stop because I'm not going to do this every 5 years with those people. We're not going to revisit this every year when you're upset or think we've offended you or disrespected you and you start launching. I think between 2025 and present, 40,000 missiles have been launched into Israel. 40,000 missiles. If Canada did that to us, Canada would be the next U.S. state.
Yeah.
We wouldn't allow that to happen, but we expect Israel to allow that to happen. That's what I would do. I would make it the world's biggest parking lot, and I would then throw my hands up and go, anybody else got something to say about this? We could be there in 20 minutes.
Well, the thing is that too, it's a hard thing because being living under Judeo-Christian values, we believe in life. What I think. I
believe in the sanctity of life. And if you don't, all bets are off. If you think it's okay to do that, then it's okay for me to do that to you because that's how you wish to live. Who am I to tell you that you're wrong? You want to meet Allah? I'll set up the meeting for you.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I was getting to that. They believe that they go and blow up a mall, with a chest bomb on them or something like that. That they're going to go to heaven with 72 virgins or whatever. I always get the number wrong. 72.
No, it's 72. Okay. I can't even make one woman happy. I don't need 72 of them. So.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a weird. Listen, it is a peaceful religion if you follow it in the right way. Very peaceful. That's fine. Anyone's Muslim. That's great. You can be whatever you want. It just kind of throws me like 72 virgins. I mean, I'm looking at my wife over there now, and I couldn't even imagine having 72 of her.
That's a compliment.
Yeah,
that's a compliment.
Yes, it's a compliment. Yes. So, but no, that is the weird part about it with me. But that's fine. If they want to believe that. No problem. You're entitled to your beliefs. It's just it doesn't have to end in violence, and I just can't see. Then when you showed that video, I just burned into my brain again all the other videos that I saw of that day. And it was completely and utterly horrific. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I think it ranks right up there with what you were talking about with 9/11, people jumping out of the building. I think those October 7th video and those videos are the worst I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think one is worse than the other. I think they're both horrible because they're the result of blind hatred.
Yeah.
No rhyme or reason, just hatred. And I think they're both equally as horrible. But until the world takes a stand and goes, look, we're not putting up with this crap anymore, it's going to keep happening. All right, I think we ran over this segment.
We went way over this segment.
50 minutes. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to go to the next segment and probably not even get to the third or the fourth, which is fine because it's a good conversation. We'll be right back. Maybe.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up. Because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. But America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. The New Jersey State House Watch, hosted by Jack Brangan and Constance Detzel. APN's The Pulse is moderated by either Alexandra, Damon, Elena, or Seth. Also tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms. Join the revolution because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Then we're back. I'm here with Damon Galdo. He's also got his own show, Jersey Shore, that's on this network. Obviously behind him, he's running for Congress. Good guy, smart guy. He's got a plan. He's a family dude, so he's going to put families first. So definitely, if you live in it's a District 1 in Jersey.
District 1, yeah.
If you live in that district, make sure you support him. He's up against, I'm assuming, a career politician, which are the worst kind.
Yes.
There's nothing worse or lower form of life than a career politician. They're basically just elites living off everybody else who's working. And change is always good when it comes to politics. It's always good. You've had him in there for so many years. Let's get some fresh ideas and another viewpoint, and let's go with that for a while. I mean, you got nothing to lose. Jersey's getting beat up, so he's the answer for District 1.
Well, thank you for that, Seth.
Hey.
I just want to say people were commenting like Donald, he's always.
Oh, yeah, Donald's here.
And Lady Murray just jumped on.
Cool.
Howdy, my fellow Patriots. But thank you guys for joining.
Yeah. Okay. We have to go to the next segment because I could still be on the last segment talking about that.
I know we can go on and on about that. 100% for sure.
So the title of this segment is called "It's Everywhere," and by "It's Everywhere" I mean stupidity in this country is abound. You can't go anywhere and not run into somebody stupid. I think the big thing now are these flash riots with children, teenagers going into malls or restaurants, and then just destroying it, fighting people. I think her name's Janine Perro. I never got
Judge Shapiro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The new states or the U.S. Attorney General.
Yeah.
I agree with everything she said. She said from now on they're not going just to target the children, but they will also hold the parents accountable, and they can look at jail time or fines. I that's incredible. You are a parent. Those children are your responsibility till they're 18. And if you can't,
Damon, Gianna, you better not do anything.
and they're your responsibility till they're 18. And if you're a true parent, that responsibility never ends. They're always your children. You're always going to try to look out for them and do what's best. But legally, till they're 18, they are yours. You are responsible. And if you can't control your child enough not to run with hoodlums, starting riots in malls and attacking people, maybe you should not be a parent. maybe you should reevaluate your whole life and the choices that brought you to this point, and maybe give that child to somebody who wants to be a parent, who can tell them, no, you're not doing that. No, you're not going out. No, you're staying home. Because being a parent isn't about saying yes. It's about saying no. It's about setting limits, setting regulations and rules, and then holding your child to that. So when you're gone and they're on their own, you know they're good. You know they know what right and wrong is. They can conduct themselves in a manner that's respectable. They're not out there fighting and stealing. So I agree with what you said. I think if parents start going to jail for their kids acting like a fool, maybe it'll stop. Maybe. I don't know. And what's not helping are fools like this man. Arresting black people for robbery, drugs, rape, violence, and murder by putting them in prison, plain and simple, prison is not the answer. And he goes on to say in another quote that it's racist. This is the mayor telling everybody we can't lock up black people because it's racist. It's very rare that I'm at a loss for words.
I know it is. Seth, I don't get that at all. I mean, it's racist to wrap people up, to lock people up for robbery, drugs, rape, violence, and murder, and put them in prison. It's just unbelievable. I can't wrap my head around it either. Like, I hope all the listeners out there. Thank you, Susan Carlin, for joining in too as well, and whoever degenerate gambler is. So don't be a degenerate gambler. Don't lose all your money. So, but it's just, how does that make sense to anyone? Like, really, how does it make sense to anyone? Like, don't put them in prison is not the answer. No, if you rape somebody, you're going to jail. You kill somebody.
If you're lucky, you're going to go to jail.
Well, oh yeah, you're right. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, I agree with Judge Janine Pirro. I still call her that anyway because I used to work boxing. I know they're all still scared of her over there. I see them say it all the time. But I agree with that 100%. But I got to just say, when I was younger, I got in trouble myself. And I've talked about it many times. I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't do anything. But it happened once, and, actually when I got arrested, my dad picked me up and he beat the heck out of me in front of the cops on purpose because shouldn't be telling the story, but I'm so
please remember the views and expand.
Me and a bunch of my friends got arrested for being stupid. We were like 15 or 16, and I'm Dad, you're watching. I'm blaming you again. So because he just installed this new combination lock on an apartment building. I was with him. So, and it comes in a pre-factory setting, of what the numbers are. You have to change it. So, but I watched him do it. I knew it. And so when we got arrested, we're from something stupid. So they put us in a room, the police in 26th District, and it had that combination lock on there. And I'm like, my dad just installed his one of these locks yesterday. I wonder if they ever changed the code or they just put it in. I said, because the pre-factory settings. So I was like, dude, I hit it, and it was just like a push button one, and the door opened. And then I'm like, oh, man. So we trying to sneak out the back. And we made it like a half a block, and then they came and grabbed us real quick, and they brought us back, and they're like, you know how much trouble you're in for escaping? I'm like, I don't know. You should change your passcode. He was so mad, and he pulled his belt off, and he just cracked me in the ass with it. Right in front of the cops. He did it on purpose because and the cops were like, I think he's had enough. Yeah, so we're not charged with anything for escaping or anything. It was just a misdemeanor. We were like throwing rocks and stuff like that when we were young. But I just that could have been bad. Like, me just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's the same code. And all my friends are, oh my God, you got the door open. And then It was a stupid thing to do. So, but my dad, I still blame you. Okay, you never installed that lock the day before and showed it to me.
But see, that's your parents' job. That is their job. They're not there to be your buddy, not there to swap jokes with you. They're not there to hold your hand and tell you how great you are. They're there to correct you and give you direction. Like, hey, you don't do this. This is what is expected. Now, when you get older and you're an adult, that's when the buddy time starts. Like, hey, I've taught you all I can teach you. I'm still here if you need to have questions. But now our relationship goes through a different phase. Now we can buddy around and be pals. Because I like I said, I've taught you everything I know. Now I'm just kind of let you take the lead. And every once in a while, I might tap you on the shoulder and go, hey, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't do that. You become more like a Jiminy Cricket at a certain age with your children. Then you become the authoritative rule maker. And that's how it should be. But if you watch these videos, you can guarantee, number one, there's no father in the house.
Yeah.
Number two, the mother probably is so stressed out with trying to pay bills and get her life together and do things, she can't pay the attention to the children that as much as they need. Or on the other side, the parents might both be there and just don't care. Like, he's not home, he's not bothering me, I don't care. Either way, parents need to be held accountable. Like you were just talking about, when I was in high school, was a friend of mine. My father was a police officer. His father was a police officer. And we were at his house. And I can't remember where we wanted to go, but I know it was in D.C. My buddy asked his father, hey, can I go? We go. He's like, no, you're not driving to D.C. You're 16. You're crazy. You're not going to D.C. Don't go there. Don't take the car there. So we were down in his basement where he lived, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. Upstairs was quiet. He goes, hey, let's go to D.C. And we're 16. Sure, why not? Let's go to D.C. So we sneak out, get in his car, and go to D.C. And I don't even remember what we were doing, but it wasn't like, ooh, this is cool. It's like, this is cool when we're 16. But when I get older, this is going to be like a waste of time. So we're coming back home. I guess it's about 1 a.m. So he's on a provisional license. And in Maryland, after midnight, you can't be on the road on a provisional license unless you're with a licensed driver who's over 21. And he's speeding. And we're not paying attention to it. So we get pulled over, of course, because we're speeding. And, he's putting the car in park, tells me to hand him his registration. And I look over my shoulder to the police officer behind us, and it's his father. And I'm petrified. It's not even my dad. So I give him the registration. I go, dude, that's your father. He's like, no, it's not. I said, I just looked. That's your father who pulled you over. I said, I'm surprised he hasn't recognized the car yet, but it's your father. He's like, no, it's not. Sure as hell. Get the little flashlight, tap it on the window, and he goes, excuse me, sir, I didn't see your driver's license registration. And it's his father. And he still, maybe it's just because he does it so often, he didn't pick up that, hey, I know that car. Maybe something, or maybe he was just going through the motions. Yeah. And my buddy hands him his license and registration, looking out the other way. And I'm like, dude, that's not going to work. You just gave him your ID. He's going to know who you are. And you can see the flashlight bebopping back to the car, and it stops mid-stride. Goes back to the car, goes back to where I assume he was looking at the ID, doesn't turn around, and he calls my friend's name. And I don't want to say his name because I still talk to him, and I'm not trying to put him on the spot. We'll call him X. And he goes, X, get out of the car. And my buddy starts weeping, openly weeping. And I'm like, oh, my God. He goes, what's he going to do? He goes, I don't know, but you're going to have to take the car home. And he goes, Seth, you get out of the car, too. I'm calling your father. And I'm like, dude, I hate your guts. You've got me tied up in your bull crap now. I'm going to get in trouble. And, of course, we got huge trouble. But that's why we have parents, because if we didn't, we would continually do stupid shit like that until something happened.
Yeah.
So at that moment in time, I wasn't thankful for it. But looking back, I'm glad that I got my ass kicked. It taught me a lesson that I never made the same mistake again. And that's what's – and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're a parent too. I think more parents now are concerned about being friends, being buddies, than they are about being parents. I think Bernie Mac said it best. If your kids don't hate you, you're not doing the job of a parent correctly. And he's right, because you're telling them no.
Yeah.
You're holding them accountable, and that's the job. And I think too many parents have gotten away from that. And I think the reason for that is you have kids having kids.
Yeah.
And I think that plays a huge part of the parent-child dynamic. When you're 20-something and you got a kid who's, going to be 15, you're only going to be 35, you're still a kid. You don't know much because your life changed when you had that child. So maybe you're trying to let them have the life you didn't have, or however that works. But that's not how it's supposed to be. And I think it's not just in Maryland. I'm sure these happens all across the country. Actual riots. These kids are starting riots in malls and restaurants on the street where multiple police officers have to show up. And the judge, and I agree with her, parents should be held accountable. This has to end, and holding your kids accountable doesn't work if you don't back us up. So maybe now everybody's got to go to jail. Everybody's got to pay a fine. You agree with that?
Yeah, we can go that route for sure. I agree with it to a certain extent, but it's just okay. Parents have to be held accountable, to raise their kids and make sure they don't do stuff like this. But the kids can get away from their parents in some way, shape, or form, and make a mistake. And I don't think the parents will be held accountable for that because they don't know. If the kids hanging out with friends and they do like a one-time thing, then it's different. It's slippery slope. But I agree that if it's reoccurring, absolutely. But it's when they get in trouble, if it's reoccurring, then put them in jail. Don't let them out. Let them learn a lesson. Say, listen, I'm sorry, Mom, Dad, your kid's going to jail. I'm not going to give them cashless bail, let them out over and over again to keep doing it. But so it's a double-edged sword. So, if the government's going to just keep letting them out in cashless bail, and then they just repeat, then okay, then all right, then tell the parents that they're going to jail then, if that's the case. If not, then tell the parents, we're putting your kids in jail. So you want them in jail? You want them home with you? What do you want? It is a double-edged sword, but yeah, I mean, I think the parents should be held accountable if they're blatantly, like you say, you have a school shooter or something like that, and they know they bought the kid the gun, knowing that he's crazy, and he plays, all these games, and he's killing animals out in his backyard, like
Something
seriously.
wrong with little Johnny.
Yeah, and then you're sure going to buy you a gun for your birthday. It's red flags would go up. Yeah, no, take their ass to jail. And I think they discharged parents for the first time. What was it, a year ago?
Oh yeah. The school shooter.
Yeah, because they knew like what was going on with the kid, and they still put on guns.
I coached football for many years. I am the biggest supporter of kids. I think kids should be allowed to be kids. Like you said, they're going to mess up depending on how big the mess up is. You have to let them mess up. You have to let them fail at something so they learn how to bounce back. I think at a certain point, like you were saying, I agree with, you know what, you're a kid, you're not listening, you're making mistake after mistake after mistake. I can't blame just you. I have to blame your parents as well. And I think a good way to solve that is go, look, Mom or Dad, little Johnny, I don't know, did something in the public, vandalized property, something like that. This is not his first time. He's looking at 60 days in county. But if you're willing to do a weekend with him in county, we will drop charges, not put it in his record, and give him a fresh start. But you have to do the time with him. 48 hours, locked up, treated like a criminal. I think that would alleviate a lot of problems.
I like that. Because I mean, I'm not the best parent in the world.
You're not.
But it's just like my son. He's younger than my daughter, but when he wants to go out and play, he's 7 now. Now he's getting a little bit better. But when he was younger, he wanted to go out and play with his friends, and I couldn't let him do it without me being there because he didn't look both ways going across the street. Like he would just.
Yeah, they're excited.
And then he's so small, and then boom, car takes him out. So I'm like, no, buddy, you can't. I got to go with you. So I would take him over, to the neighbor's house across the street, and I'd sit there with him. Because even if I didn't invite, I couldn't leave him there because he would try to run back to the house to grab a soda or something, and and so. Who's that? Donald said I never met.
That made me laugh.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's serious. You have to be responsible. And when you create life, you have to be responsible for it.
Oh yeah,
and and you can't have them destroy someone else's life either. Now there are exception situations where people just go bad. I mean, my parents raised me right. They did. I love my parents, and they were always good to me. I made mistakes, and that was my fault. So that's the difference, like they raised me right and I made mistakes, but hey, I wasn't terrorizing malls and having,
fighting with cops and
all that stuff. I broke out of a police facility once when I was 15 or 16. Well, listen, it was their code, man. They shouldn't change it.
I agree. It's their fault.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever. My friends
would have too. I'd be like,
damn. They were like,
we're gangster.
But it didn't work out well for me at all.
And kids make mistakes. You should allow them to make mistakes depending on the severity of the mistake. They need to learn that it's okay to fail. It's okay to be wrong. It's how you react to those is what makes you a man or a woman. And if you don't let them screw up once in a while, they'll never develop into a good person because they won't know how to react if something bad happens. Or if they do something wrong, they won't know how to react to that. So to a point, you have to let them mess up. And again, I think it's not all the kids' fault. I think it's 50-50. I think the parents play a part in their children doing these things, and the kids 50% responsible too. I don't think there's all blame can be placed on one party when it comes to things like this. It's equally shared. Kids will do what you allow them to do, and if you allow them to do it, you can't be surprised if they do.
Of course. Yeah, you're right about that.
We've ran over again, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back again and probably run over again. I think.
Maybe. Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
We're back with Damon. Galdo is running for Congress in Jersey, District 1. Again, give him your support however you can, money, time. It's not cheap running a campaign, but just as valuable as money is time. Go door knocking for him, hand out information, go to your local carnivals or fairs, talk about them there, talk about it with your friends. You can't sit on the sideline and go, man, everything sucks. I wish something would change. There you go. Right there. There's your change.
Just don't tell him I know Seth.
Yeah, don't tell him you know me, or he wouldn't even get elected the dog catcher. So keep that in mind. But yeah, he's got his own podcast. Alexander, who's got her own podcast, again, has some family business to take care of tonight. That's why she couldn't be here. Elena is also dealing with some serious family issues, and we put her in your prayers or good thoughts, however you want to do that. She would appreciate it. So you were stuck with us, and I truly pity you. I'm very sorry. I wish there was something we could do for take you out to dinner, rub your back, something to make up for this. But we can't. So it is what it is. The next segment is kind of ties into the first segment where we talked about just rampant racism, just everywhere you go. This segment is kind of about that, but it's more about how it's acceptable now. People applaud it. They pay for it. They agree with it. They perpetuate it. I am sure you have all heard of Chud the Builder. Now that you probably have. He is, I guess, for lack of a better term, like a shock jock. But he doesn't talk about, taboo subjects like sex or things like that. He talks about lesser races. His shtick as he goes out on the street, yelling the N-word at black people continuously, calls them chimps, other horrible names to incite a reaction. And as soon as they reach their limit, he says he's going to shoot them because he carries a weapon and makes a joke out of it. Well, on May 13th at approximately 1:19, his last name is Etherly, was involved in a verbal altercation, with a man of color, Joshua Fox, outside the Montgomery County Courthouse in Tennessee. Caveat, Chud the Builder also was facing 2 charges based on his extreme. Going to a restaurant, screaming and cussing at people, using racial slurs, and then walking out and not paying. He was arrested for that. And I believe the other issue he was in court for was a credit card bill that he hadn't paid, and there was a civil case. The escalation happened that during the argument, Etherly turned his body in a bladed stance. And if you like to shoot, you put yourself in a bladed stance to protect the draw from your gun. And it makes it easier to control rather than staying broad-shouldered, you blade, which is an aggressive move. Turned his body into a bladed stance and reached into his right jacket pocket for his firearm. So this was during a verbal confrontation. Nothing physical had happened yet. It was just a trailer park piece of trash being a trailer park piece of trash to a black man who was giving it back to him. As soon as he did that, Mr. Fox advanced and struck him, which any person would do. If you blade your body and you reach, you have to assume he's not reaching for a lollipop. He's pulling a gun out, and you better do something. Run or go at him. Mr. Fox is a veteran and chose to go at him because you never run from a gun because he'll just shoot you in the back. You go at the person. You run from knives. And that's not advice. I'm just saying it. Don't go, well, Seth said to charge the guy. No, Seth did not say that. Seth just said, hey, this is what I would do. States that a physical altercation ensued after Etherly reached for his gun. He then, Chud the Builder, that charming gentleman we see in front of us, fired multiple rounds, struck Fox twice, I believe, in the shoulder and the belly. Somehow, this genius, this Wyatt Earp, managed to shoot himself in the arm. I don't know how. It's not in any of the reports how it happened, but he raised himself in the arm. I don't know how that works if you're shooting in front of you and then somehow you get hit in the arm. I don't know. It just kind of sums up his intelligence. Police reviewed courthouse surveillance video, which captured several innocent bystanders fleeing the area as projectiles ricocheted off nearby walls. So not only did he discharge his weapon illegally, he discharged it in a crowded area with no regard for people around him. Police officers go to jail for that. If you don't know the backdrop of the person or the target you're engaging, you cannot shoot. You can't shoot for that very reason. You're going to strike somebody who has nothing to do with the situation you're handling. People are saying, well, he's allowed to do that. Tennessee law says you cannot use deadly force if you are the initiator. You cannot claim victimhood. And that means you engage somebody trying to get a reaction, and when that reaction occurs, you cannot claim the victim and discharge or use deadly force. That's why he's been charged with attempted criminal homicide, employing a firearm during a dangerous felony, aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Did you know? Have you heard about this, Damon, or know who this fool is?
No, that's what I said before. I didn't even hear about this.
Okay.
I've been busy as heck,
you're running for Congress, man.
And then plus with the whole family stuff going on.
Well, yeah, you got that too.
I missed this one. I didn't see it. I'm glad you just talked about it. So
he's a podcaster.
Is he?
Yes, he is the dangerous trend in podcasting that we're seeing now.
He didn't fill out an application for the APN, did he?
No. We're not classy enough for him. We respect people. We judge people individually, not as a group. So he wouldn't bless us with his presence.
That's a crazy story, though.
Huh?
That's a crazy story.
It's if I didn't see the news and see the video, I would think it was like a joke. I would think it was an Onion article.
Yeah.
But like I said, this is the dangerous trend going on in podcasting. I'm not saying our network is the end all be all. I'm not saying it's from from God's mouth to our ears. But we definitely do not rage bait. We do not engage in racist activity. We do not throw racial slurs around just to see how people react. We try to cut it down the middle. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I may offer an opinion, but I have never in my life gone down the street hurling racial slurs at people just to record it so I can get likes and money. I would never in a million years do that.
But because it's the new norm, not just with podcast.
No, you're right.
Podcast. I'm talking about elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it, I watched over the weekend, and I gave a speech in Camden County GOP on Monday night. And the thing is, like AOC, for one, because somebody mentioned AOC. I don't know what they meant by that. I guess maybe they're talking about me or not. But they also mentioned
that's the victim. He's a excuse me, a veteran who suffers from PTSD. Mr. Joshua Fox was shot in the belly and the arm. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So what it is, I mean, you look at AOC, she gave a speech at a rally, and she said that, she claimed that voting rights protections are what gave America the Great Society programs. Now, that's Lyndon B. Johnson. He started that, welfare and Great Society. But voting rights didn't do that. And so it wasn't that egregious, but it's a lie. Because, the Great Society programs were in 1964 when LBJ passed it. Voting rights didn't come to 1965, towards 1966, actually. It was right at the end of 65. So when you lie about things like that and you call, the SAVE Act and voting identification racist, then that's basically why she said it, is because exactly why she said it. I'm sorry. That's exactly why she said it. And redistricting is racist and all that. So it's our elected officials are race baiting. Well, Democrats, I would say. Maybe a few Republicans. I don't know. I don't know of any Republicans, honestly. But it's the Democrats. They have no policy. They have no nothing. They just divide and race bait. And that's how things like this happen. And that's how it goes down. And then you have Senator Cory Booker. Senator Cory Booker in New Jersey. Mr. Angry Eyes, when he bulges out like this, when he gets all mad and it goes all crazy. Like, he just gave a speech at one of his rallies, and he talked about the court decision, Dred Scott 1857, Plessy versus Ferguson 1896, and Kermatzo 1994. Now these were all horrible decisions. They were against saying that black people aren't citizens. That Japanese internment during World War II, all that stuff. So it was bad, but he compared that to redistricting. Like, how could you do that? Yes, we as a country made mistakes in the past. Of course we did. And why I didn't, you didn't. Well, why I made my own mistakes, but I'm just talking as a country. But we weren't there for that. But my point being is, they're comparing it. It's like when they compare Trump to a Nazi, and a dictator, or we're living in Nazi Germany right now. Really? You think that? But they get away with it. And the mainstream media does not talk about it. They don't bring it up. I recognized it when I saw them saying it. I'm like, hold on a second. I said, something's off with that. I'm like, well, especially Cory Booker. I'm like, how are you going to compare those three cases to, the redistricting and voter ID? And like, no, that there were bad decisions over, 200 to 140, or no, even longer than that. It's insane. And he's comparing it to it. And I'm like, and people are cheering like, yeah, they have no idea what he's talking about. Well, no idea. And nobody fact checks him on it.
He's just like this douche flute.
Exactly.
He's appealing to the lowest common denominator in the country, which is stupid people.
Yeah.
And they agree with it. He's like the Pied Piper of idiots.
Yeah.
He spews his bull crap out just like Booker does, and they applaud. Yeah, he's good. He's smart, man. Because they don't know any better. Yeah. And that goes back to the kids doing the crap they're doing. They don't have parents. They don't have somebody teaching them, hey, that's not right. That's wrong. This should be hung up in every school in the nation and said,
yes, absolutely.
If you can't toe the line and meet the bare minimum expectations of a human being, look at what you're going to turn into. You will be this. This is what you're aspiring to be. A low-life, loudmouth racist who can only make money by rage baiting people and then shooting them and then crying that I'm the victim. That's what happened. I'm serious, parents. If you have kids, show them this picture, read the story, and go, this is what happens to people that don't care, that don't have parents in their lives, that are happy just existing. They don't want to contribute to society. All they're worried about are thumbs up, views, and money. And this is what will happen to you if you don't fly the straight and narrow.
I'm curious. Did you know if this guy was a Democrat?
He, from what I've read, I get the impression that he's Republican.
Okay.
But nothing has ever come right out and said that, he is this or he is that.
We're not all perfect. So
no, we're not. And that's why we say Republican Democrats are the two sides of the same coin. It's really that simple. All right. We got to take another break, try to get through the next segment, and then we'll let you all go.
All right.
Let me find out where we're at. Oh, there. Yeah, there we are.
Hey, it's great to be on with you. This is a great podcast. It's a lot of fun, and it's informative, and it's real information. It's none of the frills and none of the nonsense that you hear on the legacy media. Just telling the story of what's happening right now. It's what I do with my newsletter that I get out to anybody who wants to see it. It's what you're doing with this podcast. America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal.
So what we're going to do now is kind of go through the candidates in Jersey, and I'll let Damon talk about these guys. Then we'll kind of go into the Maryland candidates, and I'll kind of talk about those guys. So we'll start with Jersey first. I believe it's Jersey up. Yep. And we all know Justin. He's been on the show a few times. Great guy, smart man, a man with a plan, just like Damon. So go ahead and talk about him, Damon. You know him more than I do.
No, Justin Murphy is a great guy, man. He'd be a great U.S. Senator, and he's up in North Jersey right now. He was going to. I asked him to be on tonight. He said he's at an event, and because we were short-staffed tonight, and he's like, "No, I'm actually at an event." He's been traveling up and down the state, and if you hear this guy talking, you guys go back on the podcast and you'll hear what he has to say. I mean, he's a lawyer. I hate lawyers, but sorry, but he's like a constitutional lawyer. Like he's good. Like he knows everything about it, and he's a great guy. He really is. Actually, I'm sorry, I got to say this, guys. I said in the speech, when I did the town hall meeting, when I live streamed it, we didn't have our great producer behind the scenes, the other Damon, DW. So he was walking me through it. So I had to use my phone, my laptop, and I brought a router up there. So we're testing it, and it was the town hall. He was there with the other candidates, and he's like, Justin Murphy, testing, 1, 2, 3. And he goes, this is Justin Murphy. And he goes, I got my hair cut. And he was hot mic'd. It was going on because people were saying he needed to get his hair cut. It was just a funny thing, man. So Justin is the man. He's great. He's awesome.
He's a good guy. He would be well worth your vote. And again, don't take our word for it. Look into him. Scan the QRC code there. Go to his website. Read about what he thinks and what he wants to do, and then make an informed decision. And we have, I don't know who this guy is.
Who's that guy?
I don't know. I don't know how he got up on here. I apologize. Like I said, I set this show up. I probably messed up. I apologize.
Well, you scan that QR code and go to votedamongaldo.com, please. And you'll see what I'm about. Obviously, you guys know what I'm about if you're watching the podcast. Then we'll go to 3. I think 2 is next. Van Drew just gave. It wasn't talking about you when he said when the real deal was talking about me. By the way, Van Drew, he's a great guy. He's awesome. He used to be a Democrat like I was as well, and Democrat Party left him just like they left me. I was told to be a Democrat. And unions were like, you got to vote Democrat and all that. And then I started paying attention. I'm like, hold on a second. I said, I don't think so. They're, not moderate, regular Democrats, common sense Democrats. I call them Reagan Democrats. They still have common sense. Yeah. But the far lefties out there, I'm like, whoa, I'm Republican. I looked at my views and I'm like, I'm way more conservative and Republican than any of this stuff. I'm not far right, but and then definitely left. There's Jason Cohen. Jason Cohen just had a debate tonight
Oh, okay.
on Fernando Rube's podcast, and Fernando a little upset that we didn't come together with this, and Jason, me too. He didn't come to me. He didn't go on our podcast. No, I'm kidding. But no, I want to check it out. It happened at 8:00 tonight, so
Nice.
go check out the debate. Somebody said in there that he crushed it, and I don't know. We'll check it out. So let's go to the next one. All right, and we have Chris Smith. Chris Smith, I don't know him personally, but I know he's a Republican running for Congress in New Jersey. We need him to get elected. Go to his website, check him out. QR codes there. Hillary Herzig, I know her personally.
Yeah, she was on this once, wasn't she? And I was on with her.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. She's a fighter. She's like a bulldog, and then she's sweet at the same time. She is a great person. So
I was on my best behavior. I remember when I wasn't dropping the F-bomb or ranting and raving because I didn't want to scare her. I didn't want to go, oh my God, that's insane.
My wife loves her, and
Okay.
if my wife loves, who likes another woman that I'm talking to, then it passes the test. If she doesn't like someone, like, who was that we're talking to? I'm like, a coworker. Well, I don't know. So, but no.
Wrong number.
Yeah, exactly. So she passed the test. Now we have Tom Keene Jr. He's running again for re-election. So I'm pretty sure he's going to win, but he's not going to win unless you get out and vote for him. Everyone looks at the midterms and is like, we don't go out there. If you don't get out there, he's not going to win. If you don't get out there, I'm not going to win, or any of those other candidates as well. Tiffany Burris, talked about her before. She's a sweetheart as well, and she's very smart. And Seth, I think I might have told you before. Maybe I didn't. She is the wife of Plexico Burris.
Yeah, she did. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the greats on the Steelers, wide receiver.
She has not talked to me since she found I was an Eagles fan. So
I don't blame her. I'm surprised I still talk to you. Every time you come on the show, I'm like, God damn, I got to deal with him again. God. Philadelphia. Whatever.
Well, Philadelphia's a horrible mess right now.
Yeah.
Great guy. Go on his website. You can check out what he's about. I mean, same thing. Get out to vote for Farming District. And then this guy up right here, Hathaway, he had the special election.
Yeah.
And he lost it, but he's in November. He's running again. It was because our horrible governor that we have now, like Cheryl, that was her seat, so they had to have a special election, and he lost that because it was like right away. But November, he's running. Get out to vote for him, guys. We cannot lose these midterms.
Yes.
And then Greg Millay, that's dude. He's awesome. I love this guy. I mean, he's a fighter and he's great. And just go to his website too and check him out. He's awesome.
I think that's it for the Jersey people.
Yeah.
And again, like Damon just said, and we're running over, but you know what? I apologize. We've had important discussions, and this is very important. If you support a candidate, support him. Do it openly. Help out any way you can. Running a campaign is not cheap. And I know I can't speak for Damon, but I know when I ran, it was weird to ask for money, so I will do it for them. You got to support them with cash. You got to, and if you can't do cash, give them your time. Like I said, door knocking, handing out information about them, telling people about them. Everything helps. They can't do it themselves. And like I said before, if you're in New Jersey and you're whining and you're crying and you're complaining because, Jersey's going to hell, we got to do something to stop this. We just showed you the people that you need to vote for if you want to change. You have just been given the roadmap to change. It is in your hands. You have no one to blame but yourself if you don't vote or support these people. It is your fault. Stop blaming everybody else. Assume the responsibility and vote for change and help these candidates. If you want to give them money, I've always said, do not give it to the party. Give it directly to the candidate. They will spend it. They know what to do with it. And if you give it to the party, you'll never know if the candidate gets that money. It's that simple. Deal directly with the candidate or their treasurer and do it that way. And if that upsets the Republican Party in New Jersey or Maryland or wherever, I don't care. I don't care.
And Seth, I just want to say one thing that I found out, didn't know. If they donate money to the county committee, they can't give it to a federal candidate unless they open up an FEC account. So,
There you go.
but no, still donate to the the GOP and the counties. But if you want to donate X to to the county GOP, if you want to support them, yes, still do that. But why? Go to to my direct campaign like Justin Murphy, all the other people.
Yes.
Federal candidates, they can't. It can't. FEC rules to where you can't get it from local county committee treasury.
So you give it right to the candidate. That way they got it. They're going to be the ones using it, and you've helped them. If you can only give $5, you get $5. You'd be surprised what these guys can do with $5. They can stretch it out and get what they need. So don't think, well, I can only give $15, $20. Give it. It'll be more useful than you could ever imagine. And now we have the Maryland candidates, if I can find it. There we go. I don't know all these candidates, and I apologize if they're watching and hear me say that. I apologize. I do know Mr. Fazenbacker. He is a good man, and I mean that in every sense. He's a family man. He's worried about not only his family, but your family. Your politics don't concern him. He just wants to help. He was probably just like Damon, or is probably like Damon, a statesman and not a politician. They just want to help. He's not doing this for fame or trying to get to the next rung on the ladder. He wants to do what he can at that level. He's running for Baltimore County Council. If you live in Maryland, there's no better candidate that I can think of. Tim is a good guy. He's got a great head of hair. And what's not really known about him, and I'll share this with everybody, he is a stellar ballet dancer. It's incredible. He'll do a nutcracker that'll make you cry.
I can't wait till he calls.
I can see him now. Yeah. Okay. Miss Stansberry, I really don't know much about her other than she stands for what she believes. She's a conservative, and she's an honest person. And in Baltimore, in this neck of the woods, in this state, honesty is a rare commodity in a politician. You should just support it because of that. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know much about him, and I probably should. But if Alexandra is promoting him, he's a good man, and that's all I really need to know. That she's behind him is enough for me to go, yep, I would support him. I know Mr. Rosenbaum, Bloom. I'm going to have him on my show Sunday. He's running for Board of Education in Frederick County. Frederick County Board of Education, if nobody knows, has been investigated by the DOJ, was found to have violated the civil rights of special needs children by over restraint and over seclusion. The gentleman who was the president of the board at that time, Brad Young, who's just a hustler and a pimp, was never held accountable. I guess the superintendent of schools at that time left with an $800,000 golden parachute. Nobody has been held accountable for that. I think it was over 10,000 incidences of violation of civil rights in a 4-year period. Nobody's been held accountable. Nobody. We need to get away from liberals. It's that simple. Liberals are evil people that don't care about anything other than their next election. We need to get people like him on the board, along with Colt Black, who's there, Jamie Bren. Those would be the three lone, and there's people running also, but this is what we need to do. Get conservative candidates on all your school boards, because that's where it starts. They're getting kids young and in school and indoctrinate them into the social justice bull crap, and it just gets reinforced. It needs to stop. We need schools just to teach English, math, science, reading. That's what they need to be taught. Not that if you're white, you're a colonizer, and if you're a minority, you're a victim. It doesn't help anybody. Again, Alexandra is backing him. That's all I need to know. He's a good guy. He's running for, I think he lost. Didn't she say that last time? He's running for Ohio. And I think she said that the election happened and he didn't win or something like that, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Yeah. Good guy, though. So if he runs again, you know him. She's running for Congress in Virginia. Again, she likes her. She's supporting her, and that's all I really need to know. She's got my support. And I'm sorry to all these candidates if I don't know more about you. It's not personal. I'm just old and lazy. And then we're back to Justin. Good guy. So we have run way over. So we're going to skip the fourth segment. I'll tell you the fourth segment was about the fun stuff. You know, special forces in Afghanistan claimed to have killed a Nephilim in a cave, which is the product of an angel and a human being have a baby. They're giants. I'll show you the picture, but we're not going to get much into it. I just thought it was, you know, people will believe what they want to believe, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's, of course, a rendition, but as you can see, there are special forces, people that claim they saw this and did that. I don't know. I tend not to believe it, but that's just me. And the last thing I'll show you made me laugh out loud. There are still people out there claiming Trump is a pedophile. Even though Bill Clinton has cleared him, MSNBC has said there's no proof, CNN, and these news agencies hate him. And they've said there's no proof. But you still have the booger pickers on the liberal side that won't listen to facts, won't listen to the truth, and, oh, he's a pedophile. And if you ask them why, all they can say is Trump. They can't give you any reason behind other than it's Trump. So it must be true. I am done with people. I've peopled enough. So we're at the end of the show. I want to thank everybody who hung out with us and allowed us to go over. I'm sure DW is pulling his hair out at this point and going crazy. Why did we lose Damon? Let me go back to where he was in. There we go.
Our producer cut us off, maybe? Come on. Love the Damon.
I did. That's my fault. So I want to thank Damon for being here. Again, he's running for Congress in New Jersey, District 1. Support him and everybody else we showed you on this show with time or money. Yep, Justin too. Great guy.
Justin's back up again? Okay.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah. He's got a great head of hair too, just like Tim.
So,
and yes, I'm jealous. So.
Well, yeah, me too. It's going as well. But no, I just want to say one thing. Donald said, Seth, be careful when Galdo gets elected. He might not be here very often, so we will have to suffer. Well, we won't have to suffer. We're not there very often. But no, I will still do a podcast if I get elected. I will do it once a week because I will let everyone know what's going on in D.C. I promise you that. Everyone that's listening right now, I will definitely stick with the podcast, stick with America's Pulse Network that we all started together. So, yes, and go to voteDamonGaldo.com. And it's been trying to fundraise as much as I can, put on the fight against the corrupt Norcross machine, I would say.
Fredo.
Yeah. That's Fredo. Fredo's the elected one. So, watch The Godfather so you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're aging ourselves right there. They know we ain't kids.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, guys, if I was a little tired today. It was a rough day. You know, very rough day.
Don't worry, I carried you. You're fine.
Yeah, you carried me. All right, buddy. Thank you, Seth. I appreciate you moderating tonight. And, you know, it was just you and I, and we went over our time without 5 people. So
that's great. Imagine if there were 5 people here. We would, David would have hit like exit. We're done. You're done. Get out of here.
I wanted, real quick, I just wanted to, I'll not talk about it now, but the shooting, it was California. They said it was, you know, white supremacist shooting, but you said earlier it was.
Oh yeah, the mosque shooting in San Diego.
Yeah, so we'll bring that up later. I need to look more into that until I get more information, but we should bring that up on the next show.
Yeah,
so
we can do that.
All
right, buddy.
Thank you, Seth.
Thanks for hanging, man.
Yeah, no problem. Cool.
If we can, this thing's moving so slow. There we go. So again, thanks to Damon for hanging on the show. DW, I'm sorry, I'm going as fast as I can to wrap this up. Again, this is America's Pulse Network. Running the network ain't cheap. So if you'd like to sponsor a show or the entire network, go to our website. Excuse me. And look into how to do that. Or if you're interested in having your own podcast, do the same thing. Go to our website and check it out. Put in an application, and we'll interview you. And I promise I'll be gentle. I won't throw like shotgun questions at you, like after repeat, boom, 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 back-to-back questions. I promise I won't do that. And also don't forget about the Canine Rally. I think we might have the video up here. If not, it's on my Facebook page. It's on the website page. It's on the X page. The canine officers where Damon lives have to pay for their own equipment for their dogs. They're responsible for the vet bills, the feed, everything. And they're having a big fundraiser. I'm trying to find out real quick where it's from. It's DW, where's it at, or Damon, where's it at and what time? Damon will be there. I think he's going to be broadcasting from there. I'm going to try to get up there with my crew and kind of see what's going on, because it sounds like it'll be a good time. It is May 30th, 12 noon to close. There'll be some people there, some country stars. I'm not a big country fan. I know you probably couldn't tell that, but there'll be some country singers there, and it's for a good cause. Like I said, these canine officers have to pay for their own stuff, which is weird. I've never heard that, but apparently it's how it runs up there. So yeah, May 30th, 12 to noon, and I believe it's at a winery, or 12 noon to close. And it'll be a good time. Like I said, Damon will be there. I think DW will be there. I'm going to try to make it up, and who knows who else might show up. But yeah, excuse me. We'll get more information to you about that. I don't know if you've watched my podcast before, but usually at the end of the podcast, I give an opinion. Usually the opinion doesn't really have to do with the show, but this one does. I think it's important to talk about. So you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. You can tell me to pound, kick rocks, whatever. You're free for your opinion. Podcasts have sunk to a new low. A growing swarm of hosts and guests peddle raw racism, slurs, and ethnic stereotypes, as well as conspiracy garbage, not from principle, but because it juices downloads, super chats, and algorithm boosts. This isn't edgy truth-telling. It's cynical, low-rent clout chasing that treats bigotry as content fodder. The medium that promised depth has become an outrage slot machine. The audiences keep feeding it quarters. The business model is brutally simple. Drop great replacement rants, anti-Semitic dog whistles, IQ race pseudoscience, or blanket attacks on entire groups. Clip the most toxic 60 seconds you can and watch it explode on YouTube and X. Then funnel the traffic to full episodes stuffed with Patron please. Manosphere pods blend pickup advice with Nazi-adjacent banter. Political shows flirt with white nationalist territory, then cry free speech when called out. The grift is obvious. Provoke, profit, repeat. Anti-racism pods run the same scam in reverse. Perpetual guilt, race essentialism, and selective outrage for their own donor class. Both sides reduce people to skin color, reduce people to skin color avatars for easy engagement. This garbage is not harmless. It radicalizes lonely young men, entrenches tribal hatred, and poisons any chance of honest talk about real group differences in crime, culture, or outcomes. Legitimate data gets smeared by association with performative bigots chasing virality. Nuance dies. Complex realities collapse into cartoon villainy or victimhood for the algorithm's pleasure. The worst part, these hosts know exactly what they're doing. They apologize only when sponsors bolt, then rinse and repeat. Podcasting's low barriers were supposed to liberate media. Instead, they've supercharged the worst human incentives. Attention is money, and nothing prints money like racial resentment dressed up as rebellion. Enough. The trend exposes a rotting core. When truth and basic decency become optional for likes, the whole culture degrades. Starve these grifters. Demand better. Or watch podcasts dissolve into ever cheaper racial rage baiting until nothing of value remains. Again, that's just my opinion. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to like it. You can tell me to piss off. Just wanted to share that with you. So again, thanks for hanging out. Sorry we ran over. I apologize to DW for that. It was not intentional, but I do love the sound of my own voice. So when it starts going, I just got to keep it going. So I will be on this Sunday. The Conservative Corner is coming back. I will have Sam Rosenblum from the BOE race in Frederick County on for a little while. We'll cover some other things. I will only be coming back once a month. Again, there's some things I need to take care of personally that are demanding some time, so I will take care of those. And once those are cleared up, I will come back. I'm sure you all were anxious to know that. Losing sleep. But I will be back this Sunday, same time, same bet channel. Again, if you're interested in having a podcast or want to sponsor one of the podcasts or the entire network, please go to our website. We would appreciate it. We're always looking for new talent. I think they're trying to replace me. You really can't blame them. But seriously, if you're interested, you have something to say, find out about doing a podcast. Again, sorry we ran over. I thank everybody for their time and hanging out with us. It's always humble that you people take time from your day and evening to spend it with us and listen to us talk. We can't express enough how much we appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're going to show the video for the Canine Rally, and everybody have a good week. I will see you all Sunday. Where are we?
Blue lights cut through the Jersey night. Another call, another fight. Partner riding by his side. Poor Paul steady, full of pride. He does not quit, he does not slow. Runs straight where the danger goes. But when the bills come crashing in, the handler pays again. Yeah, the badge is heavy, the job is tough, but these brave dogs deserve enough. Boots on the ground, paws in the fight. K9 heroes working all night. They wear the shield, they hold the line. They give their all every time. If they are officers when danger calls, they should be covered through it all. So we raise our voice and raise this jam for the dogs who always take the stand. Crowd gets loud, the good hearts raise. These dogs do not choose the line, still they cross it every time. Till the budget makes it right, we will sing into the night. Boots on the ground, paws in the fight. America, hear us loud tonight. Fund the heroes who cannot speak. Stand by the brave who guard our streets until the day the system stands tall. We will not stop, we will not stall. Country strong and back in the blue. K9 heroes, this song is for you.
The Conservative Corner Podcast. Hoist the standard. Stand fast and sail with Captain Seth Eisenberg every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yo, all hands, hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea. With the keys to the cage and the devil to pay, we lay to fiddler's grave.
America's Pulse Network thanks you for watching tonight's episode of the Pulse Podcast. See you at the next packed episode that will take you from breaking news to informative topics. So please click on the subscribe button to get notified for upcoming episodes. If you liked what the Pulse covered, then share the Pulse Podcast with others. APN's The Pulse hosts look forward to seeing you on the next episode.